Hey everyone, and welcome. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever totally aced a grammar test in, say, Spanish or French, but then the second you tried to actually order a coffee, your brain just froze? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dig into this exact thing, why knowing the rules of a language and actually using it are two completely different ballgames.
So, our story really begins with this huge shift in how we even think about language. For a long, long time, the focus was all on one thing, and it's probably what you remember from your old school days.
You know the drill, right? The old school way was all about memorizing endless vocabulary lists, conjugating verbs until you were blue in the face, and basically learning about language like it was a science project. And the result? Well, you might know a ton of rules, but you still can't hold a simple conversation. The modern communicative approach, though, it completely flips the script. It's all about using language to get things done, to solve real problems like, asking for directions or debating your favorite movie. The goal isn't just knowing stuff, it's about actually being able to do stuff.
So that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What's the secret ingredient? What's the thing that transforms a walking grammar textbook into someone who can just talk fluently and naturally? Well, the answer lies in this one massive idea that honestly turned the whole world of linguistics on its head.
Okay, let's get into this big idea. And to really get it, we have to start with the concept that laid all the groundwork, but as you'll see, left some huge, gaping holes in the picture.
So, back in the 1960s, the legendary linguist Noam Chomsky gave us this term linguistic competence. Think of it as your brain's hidden, internal rulebook for a language, the grammar, the vocabulary, how sentences are supposed to fit together. It's that gut feeling you get that lets you hear a sentence and just know if it sounds right or wrong. And look, this was a hugely important piece of the puzzle, the first piece.
But, and this is a big but, here's the problem. You can have absolutely perfect linguistic competence and still be a pretty terrible communicator. Chomsky's model was kind of like describing a chess grandmaster by only listing the rules of how the pieces move. It tells you nothing about the strategy, the psychology, the context, the actual game. And what was missing? Well, all of this crucial stuff. It completely left out the social situation. It totally ignored these unwritten rules about when and where you say something. I mean, think about it. You know the grammar to ask someone for $100, right? But you also know you probably shouldn't do it in the middle of a funeral. See, that's a rule of use, not a rule of grammar. And Chomsky's idea just didn't have a place for it.
And this is the breakthrough moment. A little later in the 1970s, a sociolinguist named Del Hymes comes along and proposes this revolutionary new idea, communicative competence. He argued that being a truly competent speaker isn't just about knowing if a sentence is grammatically possible. It's about knowing if it's appropriate, if it's feasible, and if it's something people actually say. This idea was massive. It took language out of the sterile lab and plopped it right back into the messy, complicated, and amazing real world where it belongs.
So, okay, how do we actually master this social game of language? Well, Heinz suggested that our brains are constantly running this incredible background check on everything we say and everything we hear. He boils it down to 4 critical judgments, 4 questions that we ask ourselves in milliseconds, totally unconsciously, every time we communicate. These 4 questions are really the heart of communicative competence.
Okay, so here they are. First, is it grammatically possible? That's Chomsky's part, the basic rules. Second, is it appropriate? Hey dude, what's up? Is a perfectly grammatical sentence, but you're probably not going to say it when you're being introduced to the president, right? Third, is it something that's actually done? I mean, we could say, farewell, my compatriot, but most people just say, see you later. And finally, number 4, is it feasible? Is the sentence so ridiculously long and complicated that no one can possibly follow it? A truly competent speaker, well, they nail all 4 every time.
Now, this big idea from Hymes was so powerful that other researchers who came after him, like Canali and Swain, took it and refined it into a super practical model for language learners. And the best way to think about it is as a toolkit with 5 absolutely essential tools for communication. This 5-part model really became the gold standard, and for good reason. It gives us a crystal clear map of what it actually takes to be a great communicator. So, let's go ahead and open up the toolkit. So, this model breaks competence down into these 5 key areas. You've got grammatical, that's our foundation, then discourse, how we string ideas together. Sociolinguistic, that's fitting our language to the situation. Strategic, our get-out-of-jail-free card. And finally, sociocultural, understanding the whole world behind the words. Ready? Let's look at each tool one by one. All right, tool number 1, grammatical competence. This is the classic stuff we all know. Your vocabulary, your grammar rules, pronunciation, it is absolutely essential. You can't build a house without bricks, right? But, and this is key, it's just the starting point. It's the foundation, not the whole building. Next up, tool number 2, discourse competence. This is the magic that lets us weave individual sentences together into something that makes sense. It's the difference between just a random list of facts and a story that actually hooks you in. It's about creating a logical flow, and it's also about knowing the unwritten rules for different formats, like how an email is different from a text message, which is different from a formal essay. Tool number 3 is sociolinguistic competence. And oh man, this is where that social game really kicks into high gear. This is all about knowing the social rules of the road. It's how you adjust your formality, how you know when to be polite, and how to do things like apologize or make a request in a way that's actually culturally appropriate. Let me tell you, getting this one wrong is the source of so many awkward cross-cultural moments. Then we have our 4th tool, strategic competence. I love this one. It's basically your communication first aid kit. It's all the little tricks we use to keep a conversation from grinding to a halt when we get stuck. You forget a word? No problem, you just describe it. You don't understand something? You ask them to repeat it. These are the life-saving strategies that make communication possible even when our other skills aren't totally perfect. And finally, our 5th and final tool, sociocultural competence. This one goes the deepest. It's not just about the language itself, but about the entire culture that the language lives and breathes in. It's about getting the jokes, understanding the history, knowing the social values, and reading nonverbal cues like body language. It's knowing that a simple thumbs-up sign means very different things in different parts of the world. So here's the real kicker, the most important takeaway. These 5 skills, they aren't just a checklist you work through one by one. No way. They are a dynamic, interconnected system. A truly great communicator is constantly and unconsciously drawing on all 5 of these tools at the exact same time, weaving them together seamlessly in every single conversation. And it all comes back to this core idea, which Delheims himself put perfectly. He said, a model of language must design it with a face toward communicative conduct and social life. What he means is that language isn't just some abstract system of rules in a book. Its entire reason for being is to connect us, as people, in the real world. Language has to face life. So as we wrap things up here, I want to leave you with this question to chew on. Now that you know the real rules of the game, now that you have the full toolkit, how are you going to play it differently? Whether you're learning a brand new language or just trying to be a better communicator in your own, knowing this stuff, it changes everything. It's not just about what you know anymore, it's about what you can do. Thanks so much for watching.